Corda. Timple up to me the blin o hen, ag dera an Irish, honig dini go heron. Oid ar shinshur sa clockish, dini simply och ilte I gors na braine. Moran an Iraq postling sa branchach nua.
An son honig an winter Celtach, agus dagriad ar hart ar céad is céirga túthe timpeall na tíre. Bonnet siad choras na glan, le tíiseach, tóniste, na húsle, an téastóna, na ferramóri agus na déir. O iad son ar géad ferramóri.
Ar bhardar an seo I Boherlahan, the bhardar. Tá an ionise a going ins na loganamnacha agus na lisanna sí timpeall an counter. Rá club, rá hín, cúl rá hín, rá an dulín, rá hín beag agus lis beag.
Lúise míad a rais óirín na smuointe, go dtí an blin ceithre créad chuige seacht ribh Christ, agus feicim míad ar winter Celtach ag dul I mon an gná chuairimí.
Exactly 2,000 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, the Celts in Boherlahan and Dualla were blissfully unaware that in the far-off land of Palestine, the most momentous event in the history of civilization was happening. Christ was born. There were no fanfares to announce the event. Instead, the world's greatest birth would happen in the humblest of circumstances.
And yet, the infant born on that fateful night would transform the world. Only the wise men and the shepherds had any inkling of the significance of the event. A hillside crib outside Bethlehem contained an infant whose influence would spread to every corner of the earth. Born was the Messiah. And as the Celts feasted that night in Boherlahan and Dualla, their pagan world was about to give way to a new order. The days of the Druids were numbered. Christianity was on the march.
So important was the arrival of Jesus on earth that today we measure time itself from that momentous event. Even our pageant here today in Boherlahan is a celebration of the 2000th anniversary of the world's greatest birth. Listen and watch now, ladies and gentlemen, as we reenact this scene through its main characters, the shepherds, wise men, and the humble stars of the event, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Behold our stable in Bethlehem.
when the Saviour of the world embarked on his mission. His was a revolutionary message, challenging the Jewish system. He made enemies, powerful enemies, and those enemies had their moment when he was betrayed with a kiss, scourged, and eventually crucified on the first Good Friday.
The one who had been wrapped in swaddling clothes 33 years earlier was now wrapped in a burial shroud and laid in a tomb. If he were not the Messiah, that would have been the end. But of course, it was only the beginning. 3 days later, as prophesied, Christ rose from the dead.
The birth of Jesus could have passed unnoticed, but his resurrection is central to our Christian world. Mary Magdalene, one of his greatest admirers, glories at the fulfillment of his promise to revisit her. We now visit his resurrection, a new dawning for all of us. And so our story of Christianity moves forward 400 years approximately. St. Patrick wasn't the first missionary bishop to arrive in Ireland, but he was the greatest. The young boy slave Patrick was captured by Niall of the Nine Hostages and sold as a swineherd to work on Slemish in County Antrim. Later, Patrick would answer the call to return to the land of his slavery and convert the Celts from a pagan race to followers of Christ.
Patrick's mission took him throughout the countryside, preaching, converting, baptizing, and inevitably the pagans of Boherlahan and Dualla fell under his spell. It was just before the pagan feast of Bealtaine in the year 455 that St. Patrick arrived here in Raheen. Already he had lit the Paschal fire on the hill of Slane and converted the High King of Ireland, who lived nearby at Tara. This conversion was a major coup for Patrick, but some stubborn outposts still remained to be won to the faith.
In winning over King Angus of Cashel, Patrick had a willing ally in King Mihal of Raheen. Rumour had it that King Mihal and his clansmen in Dualla, Carrow and the surrounding areas were fed up with their cattle raids of King Angus.
In the scene you are now about to witness, featuring mainly the children from Dualla National School, St. Patrick arrives to be greeted by King Mihal, who is so impressed with the bishop that he and his clansmen are immediately converted. Their next stop is the Rock of Cashel, where King Angus too is baptized into the Christian faith.
As
our pageant, ladies and gentlemen, we now fast forward to the year 823 and to the townsland of Ballysheehan on a glorious summer's evening. After a hard day's labour in the fields and on the bogs, the people are in a party mood. The local brew is in plentiful supply. Poteen, mead, ale, and whatever you're having yourself. The locals are revelling in song, dance and merriment. Ballysheehan is the place to be, where the crack is mighty.
But, ladies and gentlemen, our carousers should beware, because in the background, trouble lurks. Some decades previously, the Vikings had started their lightning raids on coastal settlements, carrying off much of the beautiful gold and silver artifacts from the monasteries. At first, these raids were confined to coastal regions, but the warlike Danes were gradually finding their way inland, sailing up rivers like the River Suir.
The party at Ballysheehan was about to be gate-crashed by some unwelcome visitors from Scandinavia. However, ladies and gentlemen, in this instance, the poteen of Gort McKellis and the ale of Grange Beg would prove to be the undoing of the invader. The bottle proved mightier than the sword. Alerted to what was happening, word spread to the surrounding townslands, and seizing their opportunity, they routed the invaders as they celebrated their victory at Ballysheehan. There were heavy casualties, as the name Farnavara, or the Field of the Dead, readily testifies. But the fame of these fighting Irish soon spread, and the reputation still lingers today. Watch now as we reenact the events at Ballysheehan in 823.
At the foot of Stephen, a gentle Irish colleen, with mild eyes like the dawn. Her lips of dewy rosebud, and her teeth of pearl rare, and the snow differed each cloud, her neck and the brown hair. Oh, how happy
Now, ladies and gentlemen, in our next scene, pupils from St. Isidore's National School here in Boherlahan will portray for you Ireland's fight for freedom. The children will reenact the most vivid events from the history books, events with which you are all very familiar. This parish, of course, has strong associations with the 1916 era through Pierce McCann from New Park, among others. Having been actively involved with Sinn Féin and the Gaelic League, Pierce McCann was elected an MP for the area, but never took his seat as he died in prison in 1919.
The children hope that the songs chosen will bring back fond memories of school days to the over 40s. As we will see, the talent of the children in the music and drama areas is being nurtured, and both they and their teachers are to be complimented. We can truly say that the future of drama in the parish is in safe hands. Watch now the children of St. Isidore's.
They don't get to be caught on the news.
Summons our children to our flag and strikes for her freedom. In every generation, the Irish people have asserted their right to national freedom. 6 times during the past 300 years, they have asserted it in arms. In 1601, Hugh O'Neill and Hugh O'Donnell marched the land of Ireland. They passed a mile to the voting. at Thurles railway station. Throughout the country, including Ballyhurst, near Tipperary town. Like every other rebellion, it too ended in failure. We'll go through hell.
I think St. Isidore's have stolen the show already. We move on to the final scene of the first half of our pageant. And after this scene, there'll be a 10-minute interval. Ireland has for many years supplied priests and nuns for the mission fields of the world. And the parish of Boherlahan and Dualla has produced many of these. Today, we highlight the lives of 4 of them, 2 bishops, a priest and a nun. And in that way, we hope to pay tribute to all who gave so generously of their time and expertise. Lawrence Scanlon was born in Ballytarsna on September 28, 1843. He was ordained a priest on June 24, 1868, and he left Ireland for Utah, never to return. Today, we watch Bishop Scanlon conduct a retreat in Salt Lake City, where he ministered as a bishop for 14 years.
Was born in Grangemore, and like the other missionaries highlighted today, she received her early education at Ballytarsna National School. During the 70s, she went to South Africa and ministered at a township about 60 miles from Soweto. Her second posting was to Zimbabwe, where her work was with war victims. In this scene, she is seen providing entertainment for Father Freedom, a neighbour from home. Her class of students perform an African dance for their visitor. The dance is performed by the pupils of Ballytarsna National School, and included in the group is a niece of Sister Flanagan's, Tracy.
The second great missionary bishop we recall today was born Edmund Gleeson on January 15, 1869. He was born in Dualla, the eldest son of a blacksmith. He was ordained by Archbishop Croke on June 18, 1893 for service in the Diocese of Maitland, Australia. We listen now to the children of Ballytarsna singing one of his favourite songs, Waltzing Matilda.
Reverend Father James Feehan, our retired parish priest, was born on July 4th, 1924, a few miles from Ballytarsna. After ordination, Father Feehan ministered in the Diocese of Wellington, New Zealand for 6 years. Today, members of the All Black team have come to say hello all the way from New Zealand.
We live, ladies and gentlemen, in an area richly endowed with monastic remains. Derrynaflan, Holy Cross, Hoare Abbey and Erry, where thriving communities of monks flourished for hundreds of years. Our townsland of Ballycarstna was the crossing place for these monks as they travelled from Derrynaflan to Holy Cross.
Sometimes problems arose from the plundering of their beautifully crafted silver, gold and bronze ware. In our look at their life, we see the eternal strife caused by a group of rebellious monks, and ultimately their demise in an unexpected way, and thus the demise of the faith is complete. Or is it? illustrated on our TV screens nightly. Ireland is no exception. Records tell us of no less than 5 famines between the years 1800 and 1845 alone, due to adverse weather conditions and an inadequate political response. Potatoes are a good food, and with the addition of milk will allow us to remain strong and healthy.
In 1844, a strange fungal disease destroyed the potato crop in Canada, and it is thought that the warm, damp winds carried it here. The failure of the crop in 1845 was not seen as disastrous, as the people survived by selling their meagre possessions. Prior to this, the crop had never failed for 2 years in succession. This time, it was different. 8 million people lived in the country, 3 million normally on the breadline. The winter of 1846 was miserable, with long periods of snow, hail, frost and sleet.
Look at the beautiful results of this in our own area. The people struggled to the workhouse, buried their dead, tried to earn a few pence breaking stones and cutting timber, their bodies weakened with little nourishment, while some wealthier, callous countrymen enjoyed plenty, oblivious in many cases to their plight. Are we so very different today?
To the west of Ireland. The emigrant ship sailed out of Queenstown, County Cork. The spuds had gone black on the ground and there was nothing to eat. They cried out, "Why, Lord? Why, Lord? Why have the spuds gone black on the ground?" But the Lord never answered.
Hurling, ladies and gentlemen, is synonymous with life in many rural parishes. Our parish here originally had 4 teams: Shureview, Tubradora, Ballytarsna and Dualla, all of whom featured in county finals around the turn of the last century. In the golden square mile of the townsland of Tubradora, there are more All-Ireland medals than any similar-sized area in the country. When we think of some of the stories relating to the hurlers of that era, we can only marvel at their dedication and commitment. Today, ladies and gentlemen, hurlers representing these 4 areas parade for you in their original colours.
From our hearts we wish you long. You hoisted victory banners for the cause of Knocknagown. There is joy in every hamlet, in valley, hill and glen. Brother, cry out to Boherlahan, gallant Boherlahan. May your name forever be. With my coffee to my forest, and old furnace fair and free. With renowned old Tubradora, rich with honours golden hand.
Many of the skills which are being revived at the present time owe their origins to the Normans who arrived in Ireland in 1169, some of whom settled in this area. These skills were shared with their Irish neighbours who had many traditions of their own, including thatching, basket making and silversmithing. We watch now as some of these skills are reenacted to the sound of music at Ardmail, where the remnants of a Norman castle still stand.
Much of the time, people went about their daily routine of work, interspersed with various games. The practice of religion was very important to them. Reformation in England had a profound effect, but the resistance to change here in Ireland saw the imposition of one of the most repressive regimes, with the celebration of the Mass being outlawed. We know this as penal times. Instead of having the desired effect, the natural resilience of the people found the way, and whenever a priest would arrive secretly, people would flock to attend Mass. These Masses were normally held in a remote area. Mass rocks dotted around the countryside are a reminder of those penal days. Our scene unfolds now, ladies and gentlemen, with the craftsmen at work, being called to pray, but in this instance, with tragic consequences.
Real time is never dim, the skill and craft of man. It adorned the generations right back since time began. The blacksmith strikes the anvil, the note both loud and shrill, while the barber shaves a partner's throat from an outstretched, nervous chin. The weaver spins the golden threads of cotton, lace and silk, as the churner gently creams the butter from the whitehead pepper's milk. The cobbler drives the final nail and wipes that bead of sweat. He knows tonight will pass the acid test. There'll be sparks there in the set. The wheat, it dances on the winnowing sheet to every flailing stroke, to the sound of gurgling porter, but ne'er a word is spoke. The catcher thins the golden straw, the fruit of the peasant's patch. He secures it with the scallop, a perfect steel thatch. The mason taps the rugged stone to make the perfect edge. He gently sands and smooths its roughness for the arches and the ledge. Passing time will change so much, so different fore and aft, but it preserves the precious talent of the man with the wonder craft.
Even birds are hushed and quiet, lark and robin all are still, as the silent band of people move across the sleeping hill. Steady streams of silent people, fearful women, watchful men, come from hill and field and valley to the Massrock and the glen. And when all have come together, priest and people softly pray. High above them in the heather, fast asleep, the watchman lay. In his dream, a drum is beating, drum beats wake him from his dream. Red coats streaming down the mountain, red coats crossing bog and stream. Then on feet that knew the mountains, heartbeat beating to the drum, he ran swiftly to the Massrock. Now on every side a soldier, muskets ready in their hands. In a flash the priest is hidden, dressed in gold the watchman stands.
Stop! 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 Do not harm simple people, for let their innocence go free. If the priest, he wants a capture, take me then, for I am he!
Daniel O'Connell was born in 1775 in Carsivey, County Kerry, and is known as the Liberator. Originally, he did not support the cause of the United Irishmen, saying, "The Irish are not sufficiently enlightened to bear the sun of freedom." He had studied in France during the French Revolution, and the unpleasant happenings there made him suspicious of freedom fighters, believing that bloodshed was not the means of obtaining liberty. However, the Act of Union changed his mind, because the terms of the Union, that is, Irish Catholics would be allowed vote, hold public office and have equal educational opportunities, were not honoured.
He achieved a notable victory in 1829 with the introduction of Catholic emancipation, thus allowing him to take his seat as a Member of Parliament at Westminster, representing County Clare. Listen to him now as he addresses a meeting at Longfield House, the home of his friend Charles Bianchi, the Italian immigrant whose thriving road transport system has made him a wealthy man. This visit is for the wedding of his nephew Morgan and the daughter of Bianchi.
Citizens of Tipperary, my struggle has begun, and it will end only in death and repeal of this dastardly act which has so impoverished our country. You know me to be a peaceful man, and indeed it can be truly said that the rebellion of '98, with its hideous consequences for so many, was the deciding factor in influencing the British Parliament to introduce this heinous union of our two countries. This Act of Parliament has denied us the right to determine our own destiny. Last month at Trim, many thousands of your fellow countrymen, and in the next few months, more meetings will be held at Tara and at Clontarf. What is the point of these meetings, you may ask? People power cannot be repressed. Since 1829, you have the right to vote. This vote, so precious, must be used. Use this vote to elect members of Parliament who will speak against the Union and give us back our Parliament. I leave you now to join my good friend Charles Bianchi in the wedding tomorrow, which is uniting our two families.
1905, ladies and gentlemen, this rich land of Boherlahan and Dualla was, for the most part, owned by wealthy landlords and populated by tenants who lived in very basic cottages and eked out a precarious living on their small plot of land. Life was tough. The rent was high and the landlord's agent was a dreaded visitor. Keeping a roof over your loved ones was a daily struggle, and it was a struggle that was frequently lost.
The spectre of evictions haunted the countryside as families were thrown onto the roadside by heartless landlords who, in many instances, wished to replace people with cattle. The sight of whole families dressed in rags and clutching their meagre possessions being forcefully removed from their homesteads became a dreaded event. Death to the pleas of mothers and the terrified screams of children, the bailiff enforced a cruel law. There were heartrending scenes as battering rams smashed through doors and the taps were set alight to ensure that the people could never return to reoccupy the hovels they called home.
Eventually, the people would fight back. The Land League, founded by Michael Davitt, campaigned for the very famous 3 Fs: fair rent, fixity of tenure, and free sale. The tenants were organised, finding strength in numbers. Offending landlords and their agents were shunned. Captain Boycott felt the brunt of these tactics and thereby gave his name to the English language. Eventually, the land question would be solved, but not before many helpless tenants were left destitute by the roadside.
Today, ladies and gentlemen, the Celtic Tiger has seen house prices soar and repaying mortgages has become a heavy burden for many families. However, our problems are now ones spawned by wealth and affluence. Our ancestors, 150 years ago, faced an altogether different predicament. Their difficulties were the result of an unfair system. In our eviction scene that you are now about to see, we reenact the removal of a family from their home, and we hear the campaigning words of a leader who could well be Michael Davitt himself.
and women, I've come here today to bear witness to another one of those despicable acts which have been carried out by an alien power on behalf of the landlords of this country, aided and abetted by the armed forces. By the way, these armed forces, take a good look at them. They're only willing to fight against people who have no guns. On behalf of the discredited government, who have no regard for the ordinary people of this country. This poor man and his wife and children didn't have the money to pay the rent demanded by the landlord. That landlord, as is usual with these landlords, determined the level of the rent based on their ability to spend the money, perhaps in England or somewhere else, as absentees, rather than on the ability of the tenant to pay. When will all this stop? When will these insults stop? When will the suffering stop? This generation and the one immediately before has gone through one of the most devastating famines ever to afflict any nation under the sun. 2 million people dead of hunger and disease. 2 more million forced from their homes and country, never, probably never to return. Let's say we had enough. Remember, at the same time as these people were starving, food was being exported from this country to line the pockets of the rich, but to let the poor die. My friends, we may be down, but we're not beaten. Let's fight back. Remember, these landlords, and they're not all bad, let me make that point. There are some ones that are just, but most of them have no concern or interest for the ordinary peasant. But they are not invulnerable. They have to depend on you, the ordinary people of the country, to operate their farms and estates. Let's turn the tables on them. Let's ostracize them. Don't sow their crops. Don't milk their cows. Don't plant their potatoes. Don't harvest the hay. Refuse to recognize them if you see them on the street or the country road. Don't salute them. Isolate them. And that's all within the law. 2 more things you must do at your peril. 1, let no family who have been evicted be short of food or shelter while we have breath in our bodies. And above all, let no man ever occupy the farm of an evicted tenant. At your peril you do it. It will never be forgotten. Let's elaborate on 3 basic demands. Firstly, security of tenure, so that someone cannot be thrown onto the roadside without warning. Secondly, freedom to sell our property or goods when and if we want. And thirdly, fair rent. Not a rent as decided solely by the landlord, but by agreement with the tenant. And let's not stop campaigning until such time as we achieve that end. Let's unite, let's organize, let's stand firm and show this alien government of ours and its crown. Show them that the Irish peasantry will not give in until victory is achieved. Follow your number. Strong again.
Ladies and gentlemen, lives of great men all remind us we can make our lives sublime and departing leave behind us footprints on the sands of time. Whilst I am speaking to you, our other narrator, J.J. Kennedy, is inviting T.J. Marr back to the stage to present him with a Lifetime Achievement Award. TJ is totally unaware of what we have planned. Our journey through life is divided into various parts: family, work, leisure and beliefs. And on this journey, we meet many people who share our hope, dreams, joys and sorrows. In presenting some guests to TJ, we are honouring his achievements and interests, and in so doing, saluting the life and achievements of all our parishioners. As he alights from the carriage, I would like you to acknowledge this when he arrives on the stage.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the most surprised man in Boherlahan at the moment is TJ Marr, because this is the unrehearsed scene, this is the surprise scene that TJ was not aware of. TJ, we would like you to travel with us through your life's journey and meet some of the people who have impinged on aspects of your life. During the 1960s, farmer frustration was increasing, with calls on farm leaders to take a tough stand with a disinterested government. This culminated in the march of many hundreds of farmers from Donegal to Castletown Bear and all places in between, arriving at government buildings in Dublin and staging the great sit-in. It was during this period that TJ first came to national prominence as the so-called fair-haired one, fighting for the rights of farmers to be recognised. However, while TJ and the other farmers were away, wives and families were left behind, keeping the show on the road. We would like now to welcome onto the stage TJ's family, his wife Betty, his daughter Julianne, son Dennis, daughter-in-law Eva, and grandchildren Colin and Donica. Now, we would also like to welcome a number of special guests who have come here today to be with us. We welcome in particular two people who were involved in those marches back in the 1960s, Mrs. Mary Bergen and Mrs. Anne Gibbons. Mrs. Mary Bergen is the widow of Jim Bergen, and Mrs. Anne Gibbons the widow of Michael Gibbons, both of whom were colleagues with TJ in those marches in the 1960s. Would you welcome both of them please onto the stage? These guests, ladies and gentlemen, represent the countless husbands, wives and families who sacrifice so much when their spouse or father are involved in the affairs of the nation, the unsung heroes and heroines of our country. Now, TJ was a prominent member of Macra na Feirme during the 1940s and 50s, the Young Farmers Organisation, which has recently been revived in our parish. It was well known that TJ honed his public speaking ability so eloquently displayed here today during this period. As he went around his daily routine, we cannot be sure how the animals reacted to his speeches, but he certainly put his skill to good use for many decades. We would like to present to you, ladies and gentlemen, another TJ Maher, the current National President of Macra na Feirme, together with Liam O'Moyle Downey, Chairman of our Parish Macra Club, to represent that organisation. You're welcome, please. TJ is of course a Tipperary man, and Liam has recently added a new string to his bow as a dramatist, displaying his acting ability with us here today. As President of the NFA and IFA, TJ travelled the length and breadth of the country and abroad, negotiating on behalf of farmers, particularly during Ireland's accession to the EEC. His ability to communicate enabled him to put forward the farming perspective in a way that people who came from both town and country could appreciate. Our next guest, ladies and gentlemen, that we would like you to welcome on stage are Mr. Tom Parlin, President of the IFA, Mr. John O'Dwyer, County Chairman of South Tip IFA, and Mr. Martin Power, Dualla, representing his son Robert, current Chairman of Cashel Branch of the IFA. Now, I just wonder if Mr. Parlin would like to say a few words to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm absolutely delighted to be here with you today to join in this tribute to TJ Maher. I think he's been lauded nationally and internationally. I think it's very, very fitting. This is the third day for your parish here that the local people, the people who've grown up with him and known him all his lifetime, paid a tribute. Because I think Boherlahan have a lot to be proud of, particularly as a result of the day. But in TJ Maher, you can be extremely proud of a superb gentleman, a superb statesman, and carrying on still someone with tremendous compassion and a tremendous leader. And certainly he's been a role model for a lot of people in rural Ireland, for me in particular. And I only hope that we can just carry on some semblance of the leadership that he gave in his time. Well done, TJ, and delighted to be here.
Now, TJ continued his involvement in farming politics as president of the ICOS, the umbrella body of the cooperative societies. But in 1979, with the advent of the first direct elections to the European Parliament, a broader stage beckoned for TJ. Despite approaches from the major political parties, TJ resisted the softer option and decided to go for broke as an independent candidate. When the word spread, hundreds of people from all over Munster and further afield, fired with a sense of mission, offered their services to canvass on his behalf. These were people who felt that a strong independent voice would benefit rural Ireland. It was this sense of purpose that sends many people from our parish out day after day and night after night to work for TJ. His wish to be an independent voice for Munster was fulfilled when he headed the poll. He was subsequently re-elected on 2 occasions. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome onto the stage Dan Ryan and Michael Wallace, TJ's loyal neighbours, who epitomise the word neighbourliness. And they represent for us, ladies and gentlemen, all the election workers from the parish and beyond. Pat Cox, ladies and gentlemen, a member of the European Parliament, shares the distinction with TJ of being elected as an independent for Munster. Mr. Cox is a current Vice President of the Parliament. We now welcome him, and we are delighted that he has come here today, despite a hectic schedule, to be with us to pay tribute to TJ.
TJ family, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to thank you very much today for the privilege of sharing what has been a wonderful community afternoon, and for the privilege to be able to share on this platform a special recognition and celebration and validation of the man that TJ Maher is, a man who has brought great credit to his homeland, to his townland, a man who was firmly rooted always in the politics in the European Parliament, firmly rooted in terms of the interests of the people that he represented, and a man who has served this country with distinction on the international stage. And TJ, from your many friends and colleagues in the Liberal Democrat group in the Parliament and more widely in the Parliament, I bring their best wishes for an excellent afternoon and for fond memories on their behalf to you.
Thank you very much. Now, TJ has always displayed a keen interest in sport and has been seen for years, when time allowed, at every major sporting event. Hurling, as already depicted in our pageant, is an important activity here, and the parish has enjoyed many notable achievements. Representing now her husband, the late Sonny Maher, who won 3 All-Ireland medals for Tipperary, we have Mrs. B. Maher, and B is joined by Tom Kevin, who played during that era, and Philly Ryan, who captains the parish team that brought back the Dan Breen Trophy in 1996, the first time in over half a century. And finally, John Devan, current chairman of Boherlahan Hurling Club, whose facilities we are using today. Representing show jumping, horse racing and greyhound racing, we have some very famous parishioners. Tommy Wade and Dundrum are household names all over Ireland. As current chef d'equipe of the Irish senior show jumping team, his all-round talent is acknowledged. Representing Tommy today is his wife Felicity, a very valued member of our community whose myriad talents are very much in evidence in the props used here today. Timmy Hyde unfortunately regrets that he cannot be with us today to mark this occasion, but he sends his congratulations to TJ. Rory the One has come to prominence over the past few years as the breeder and trainer of the Boherlahan line of greyhounds. Now, would you welcome these people onto stage, please? Well, we did say, ladies and gentlemen, it's the only unrehearsed part of the programme, which just explains that unfortunately Rory the One is only able to be with us, and we'll continue on. Our final guests, representing the church, are our current and past parish priests, Father Joe Egan and Father James Feehan. TJ has been a committed Christian with high ideals, and in living a life of public service to rural communities has acted in the best spirit of generosity and selflessness. Would you welcome please Father Joe Egan and Father James Behan.
TJ Maher, you are a worthy representative of our parish here of Boherlahan and Dualla. I salute you as an accomplished politician, a patriotic Irishman, a genuine Christian, an outstanding farm leader, a loyal Tipperary man, but above all, a proud son of this parish of Boherlahan and Dualla. I thank you. I thank you for broadening our vision of life and of the world around us. And it gives me great pleasure on behalf of this parish to present you with this Lifetime Achievement Award. Thank you for everything, TJ.
Ladies and gentlemen, what do I say? I'm stuck for words. Nobody told me about this. I'm a bit set back. But nevertheless, I am extremely grateful to all the people who have said such kind things about me today. Most of them are not deserved, I assure you. But nevertheless, it's nice nevertheless to be recognized. And thank you all very much. I'm absolutely delighted today, not for my own, on my own behalf, but there's been such a tremendous spirit displayed during this whole preparation for the pageant and the carrying out of the pageant itself today. I never saw such unity before in this community, and let's take it forward into the future. That's the kind of thing that breeds success. When people get together, display solidarity and show unity of vision and action. Thank you very much, and thank you, Father, for the presentation.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue our voyage through the centuries, we leave the sadder aspects of our history behind and turn to something more light-hearted. As a people, we have many reputations, some laudable, others regrettable. One aspect of our culture worth singing about is our fun-loving nature. We like to put aside the heavier business of daily life and party the night away. Indeed, we rarely miss an opportunity to celebrate.
Going right back to the Celts, our ancestors loved to feast after a good day's entertainment, raiding the neighbour's cattle. Eat, drink and be merry was the motto, as they celebrated with song and dance. This love of entertainment has survived, as evidenced indeed by your attendance here today in such large numbers. Before the arrival of radio, television and more recently the internet, our forebears loved to gather together and generate their own entertainment.
In our next scene called The House Party, we acknowledge this aspect of Irish life. From Percy French to Elvis Presley, and from the Charleston to the Sex Plants, we invite you, ladies and gentlemen, to sit back and enjoy the music, song and dance, moving from the 20s to the 60s. It's party time.
Floating round the town of Ballymote, all the time moving back and in the back the man who wrote. He sent an invitation to his neighbors, one and all, as to how he liked the company for evening and the morning. He's writing out the note that he was careful to suggest. If they found I had a hit from them to the more that they put into it, to never want to question. The better was the music people and the rest of them. What's the tune? Doggy who kept the running dog, there was little crooked Paddy from the terror of the rock. There was right of every barony, yells of every app, the beautiful displays in the private handicap. Along with them, Ken bound the little cap. Little Mickey Mulligan was also to the fore. Rose, Suzanne, and Margaret the rapper. Around the Madam Roland and the private friend. What's the truth? Mulligan got up to show them how, and then the windy Cafferty, the certain makes her bow. I would then to up the pieces with the you were born. You only need to fight the place, the hair was in the corn. Well, head up to the best of his ability. The ladies and the gentlemen began to do the share. They said me, did you that have it you? Because the Mrs. Cafferty, you'll never forget. Little like a hair around and the mountain party will go on. Oh, happy with the gaiety, there's the lawn. Oh, happy with the gaiety, and till that the
Darling, I caress you and press you to my heart, and then lantern light, I told you tight, we'd kiss goodnight, my lily of the light, my own Lily Marlene.
Our secret dreams have all come true.
I see the twinkle, your foot and mine, happy and smiling, and I can hear sweet voices singing.
Thank you very much.
final scene in our Millennium Pageant. For us it has been a pleasure, and we hope you have been entertained in the past few hours.
Our trip through millennia began before Christ arrived on earth. Remember the Celts, our ancestors, a wise but simple people. They were pagan people living close to nature, but with a deep understanding of the seasons and the cycle of life. The passage grave at Newgrange stands as a fitting memorial to the ingenuity of these people.
Then began our Christian world. The arrival of Christ on earth has given shape to our calendar, and that birth is the very reason we celebrate a new millennium here today. 400 years later, St. Patrick came into our midst, and our pagan heritage gave way to the Christianity we still embrace today.
As we continued our journey through the centuries, we saw the Danes arrive to plunder and eventually be plundered themselves. It was they who founded our first urban settlements. Christianity survived, however, and the monks gave us the Ireland of saints and scholars. Thus began a missionary tradition, and we celebrated in particular 4 parishioners who have sown the seed in foreign lands. They were Bishop Scanlon and Gleeson of past generations, and from the present we honoured Sister Mary Flanagan and our retired parish priest, Father Feehan.
But our history has also been a troubled and at times a bloody one. It is difficult to grasp that our famine of the 1840s was just as catastrophic as those we have been watching on our television screens for the past few years. And the word eviction still stirs the blood in a country that vividly recalls the land issue of the late 19th century. The link between O'Connell and Anthony of Longfield House was given due recognition, as was T.J. Marr, our most prominent parishioner. Our centuries-old struggle for freedom was superbly reenacted by St. Isidore's National School.
But it was not all about evictions and famines and rebellions. We have a rich artistic heritage, and we celebrated the craftsmen of the past. Sport too, and hurling in particular, has been an enriching element in the life of our parish. And the Dan Breen, at present on loan to Tumivara, will hopefully make a victorious return next autumn.
And so we come to our final scene. Our grand finale brings together the huge cast that has worked so hard to bring you this open-air pageant. It has been a mammoth undertaking for our parish, and we hope you have enjoyed it. The show isn't quite over yet, so sit back and enjoy the final few numbers that bring down the curtain on today's performance.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, how does one do justice to the pageant you've just witnessed? The sweetest music is the music of what happens. It happened today in Boherlahan. Show your appreciation for a wonderful group of people. Modern life can be very much the here and now. Yet this cast today brought us back in time. For the older ones, probably revived some memories. For the younger ones, I hope it was maybe an education in the history and the people that formed the state and the country that we are today. We thank them sincerely for broadening our vision, for looking at the bigger canvas. I want to pay tribute to different people. But first, Patrick Cavan in his poems talked about the unending star. The star that beckons us on to be creative, to have imagination, to have vision. That is what you've witnessed today in this show. Creativity, vision, people together, a spirit of enthusiasm, a spirit of unity, a spirit of generosity, a spirit of sacrifice. What this parish and its surrounds have put into this show, no one could tell. But you have witnessed it, and I'm sure you are grateful to all of them for the tremendous effort that they have put in today. We are following the star, that spirit of Christ that gives us a life that we can celebrate and that we can share together. Show your appreciation for these people. There were 359 people involved in the show. That is on stage. How many of them are professionals? Very few. These are amateurs, but look at the effort that they made today. I want to salute first of all Peter Alley, our producer. Where is Peter? Now we fell out with him and we fell in with him and he gave out to us and he challenged us. But as one young person said to me, he has a very kind and generous heart. Not only has he a generous heart, he has a heart full of imagination, and really he put what we call a crook on this show. I salute Peter Alley, our producer of the show. His assistant was Tim McGrath. Where is Tim Joe? Tim Joe is from the parish here, and so many of you are aware of his talents and his gifts that God has blessed him with when he used them here in assistant producer to Peter. I move along to the music. Our musical director, we could change her first name from K-A-Y to K-E-Y because she was key to all of this. Probably the most silent person in the whole show, but Kay Wallace is a tremendous inspiration and her musical talent goes without saying. She's staying in the background as usual, there in the tent. Kay Wallace and the other musicians. I also want to salute this evening the choir mistress Siobhan Alley and the choreographer Leah Morrison. And where can I leave the two people at either side of me here? Our narrators and scriptwriters, J.J. Kennedy and Eleanor Dualla. Eleanor wore about 3 other caps as well. She was involved in so many other things. But I want to thank both of them for a wonderful script and wonderful narration of the show. Now I could be here all evening, I'm not going to be. There are a host of others. There are committees, finance, artistic, costumes, props, program, stewards, all of the backstage under the direction of Michael John Dwyer, and then all the people at the back providing the animals, the horses, you name it. I'm about to finish, but my parting word is that wherever we go, and however we go, that we hear the music of life. I thank this wonderful group of people for providing us with the music of life on this afternoon. On Tuesday we have our show at 6:30 sharp. Pass the word around and get the people here. Good evening to you all. God bless you, safe home. And I'll ask the chorus now and the cast to give you one last number to speed you on your journey. God bless you all.